watch the weather change. The clouds collide on either side as nations rearrange. A silver mane adorns me, my steel is fluid and fast. They shun my ways, avoid my gaze, a fugitive outcast. There is no pain I can feel. True retribution I deal through silver and steel. Silver and steel. Deadly dark elixirs, caustic curdled sour. Wound and weave and carve and cleave, engulf my guts in power. By tome or trial I master the secrets of the beast. By trap or burst now be dispersed, from torment be released. There is no pain I can feel. True retribution I deal through silver and steel. Silver and steel. Better make way when the winter comes, Lebro is down. Better make way when the winter comes, Lebro is down. I bear no love for counts or kings or nobles' taunts and tricks. I have no will to share their thrill for tiresome politics. I hunt my wayward memories for pieces of the past. As fragments fade, I clutch my blade and visit visions vast. There is no pain I can feel. True retribution I deal through silver and steel. Woo! Silver and steel. Better make way when the winter comes, Lebro is down. Better make way when the winter comes, Lebro is down. Lebro is down. Lebro is down. Come into this world of mine. Here we go. Welcome home. Let me show you So young at heart, yet you feel so much older under your favorite full moon. So trust a little time, so you be afraid. Just a little time, gonna make it fade. Your heart is gonna shine and you're gonna make us proud. Send a little light, gonna shine for you. Things will be alright, gonna get you through. Searching for a silver lining on this cloud. Amnesia, you forgot your name. Don't let your spirit fade away. Amnesia, you've been through such pain, but your little heart is growing stronger every day. Hey, don't fade away. Don't fade away. Amnesia, you've got this burden to bear now, hiding away from the world. But deep down behind that disguise that you wear now, I see a lost little girl. So trust a little signs that you be afraid. Just a little time, gonna make it fade. Your heart is gonna shine and you're gonna make us proud. Send a little light, gonna shine for you. Things will be alright, gonna get you through. Searching for a silver lining on this cloud. Amnesia, you forgot your name. Don't let your spirit fade away. Amnesia, you've been through such pain, but your little heart is growing stronger every day.
Welcome, race fans from around the globe. Here they come, out of turn 4, to the white flag, and it's 1 to go. Hey, good evening, sim racing fans. Welcome to 1 to Go Studios, coverage of the 2021 season number 2 North-South Racing League's ARCA Series, presented by 5-Star Realty Group, J&G Harwood Flooring, Kelly's Custom Engraving, and Track Time Entertainment. Tonight, we bring you coverage of round number 8, live from the Talladega Super Speedway in Lincoln, Alabama, for the Ricker Trucking Company LLC presents the Shake and Bake 300 here at Talladega. And we're getting ready to go into qualifying. So current standings with drop weeks in puts Johnson on top, Tiny Horse leading the way, Grosser, Sweeting, Holman, Kevin Barrett Jr., Jared Mogard, JD Rich, Matthew Dula, Travis Hoffler, and Marshall Johnson. That's our 5-Star Realty ARCA Series Championship points coming into tonight's race here at Talladega Super Speedway. And the guys are out there currently on the track setting up for qualification. Shane Loveridge out there on the track right now, getting his laps in. Shane Loveridge, last lap was a 102. So I believe that was his out lap. Pick it up with him here real quick as we reload our theme real quick. All right. His last lap, 53.231, puts him in the second spot currently, with Josh Nelms in the 0-1 leading the way right now. Look at all of our sponsors. You see the bottom right-hand corner there. The top of that ticker will change based on who is leading. The North right now has the fastest time on the track. So it is currently blue. This is a southern track for the ARCA series. As now Randy Nichols picked it up, and then Joe Witowski. So it went really quick from gray to blue. So we're going to continue to try to see what we can do tonight here. And Michael Van, looks like he's in that 13 ride. Jason Gordon, Justin White now to the top of the chart. So continue to work in about 3 minutes remaining in qualifying here at Talladega Super Speedway. Tonight's presenting sponsor is Ricker Trucking Company for the Shake and Bake 300. So we're doing 300 miles here, which is 113 laps at the 2.66 High Bay Super Speedway of Talladega. Specialties about this track are the late start finish line closer to turn number 1 than which traditionally the middle of the front stretch. The start finish line is closer to the end of pit lane here at Talladega. The track is a massive system. If you've never been here, had the opportunity to run a half marathon running through the tunnels and in the grandstands out to RV park and around this track. Got to sit in sun in the turn number 4. You cannot walk up the side of this thing. It is that massive. Kathy, hi. I'm back and so are you. It's great to see you. Telling everybody I've been to this track to not to watch a race, but to be in a race. Did a half marathon here when I was a soldier stationed in Lower Alabama. We used to say LA, in Fort Rucker, Alabama. So, have not had an opportunity to see a race here. Supposed to be a color guard for one of the years, and that didn't quite pan out either. Had some real work to handle as far as the military goes. So, a minute and 15 seconds remain. We have Jeff Mathis out on the racetrack. See if he's going to put in a time that's going to be faster than his 53.7. He's right now being scored in the 21st position. Now they're going to try to take that extra $25 prize money that's up for grabs since this is a South Track showdown here at Talladega. So it would also mean that this is a plaque track presented by Kelly's Custom Engraving. So this would be for a nice wooden plaque trophy. It's like that we had everyone here, and the 47 says he's having some issues with his gear, so he has not put down a time yet. So, yeah, $25 purse, extra bonus money to a North driver if they can secure the win tonight. One of the North drivers, Tiny Horse Johnson, will be starting at the tail end since he was the winner of the last race with this series when we were at Laguna Seca. Okay, so that is not going to happen. We are not going to have our LCQ. There are 27 drivers. So as you're seeing Drew Halloran showing up on the board there, he was in the 27th spot. So we're going to end up trying to have the race controllers push us through and take us right to warm-up, which will be 5 minutes of warm-up. They can invert up to 10, so we'll have to keep an eye on that as well. Not sure. Okay. Maybe Drew's going to get out there and actually use this as time to check out his equipment. I'm going to use this as time to ensure we have all of our stuff up. As I do not have Red Bueller checking out my stream and letting me know if something is not working. So I'm going to keep an eye on that myself. And April checking in on Facebook for One to Go Studios. She is going to be cheering on that number 3 from that last spot up to the front, saying, "Go Tiny Horse." So while we're checking things out, let's go back and check everything else here. So our current standings right here, the 5-Star Realty ARCA Series Championship points. Ryan Johnson is leading the way with Grosser right behind him. That's separation of 8 points. Then Sweeting, Holman, Barrett Jr., Mogard, J.D. Rich, Dula, Hoffler, and Johnson. Marshall Johnson in the 10th spot. Our weather here in Lottie'sTravelWorld.com for the Shake and Bake 300. 73 degrees in the air. Track temperature a hot 119 degrees. Winds are barely coming out of the east at 3 miles an hour as we're here in the daytime. Ready to go. I'm going to check our qualifying times. Justin White, the fastest car tonight. Jared Apel in the 2nd spot. Gordon, Matt Dula, Joe Witoski, Randy Nichols. 6th, 7th was Will Eastman. 8th, Hoffler. Mike Van was 9th, and 10th was Justin Grosser. So these top 10 can be inverted up to the 10th spot. Looks like we've had they've advanced us now to the next session, so hopefully that'll happen pretty quickly here. Smith, Kalen, Stewart, Nelms, and Noyce roll out the top 15. Then Ryan, Tiny Horse Johnson, Adam Gable, James Grimm, Robbie Clavey, and Shane Loveridge roll out the top 20. And then Jeff Mathis and J.D. Rich. The only other guys that put up times, Chuck Sweeting, Mandarin, Johnson, Rogers, and Halloran. Looks like Chuck might have actually put in the time, but maybe probably scrubbed the wall or something. But it looks like Mandarin, Johnson, Rogers, and Halloran did not put in times here at Talladega for your qualifying for the Ricker Trucking Company LLC Shake and Bake 300 tonight. Waiting for iRacing to advance us out of Heat 1 into warm-ups. Talk about our different sponsorships tonight. Track Time Entertainment providing the sponsorship for the hard charger to be the driver who moves up the most positions in the race. They'll have their picture of their car and post in the Facebook forum with the write-up to highlight the accomplishment of being the fastest car. Okay, these guys are now on the raceway here for warm-ups. So warm-ups currently going on. 5 minutes of warm-up. Basically, let these guys know where their pit stalls are. We'll find out what the flip is here momentarily. And unfortunately for Justin White, or actually, yeah, unfortunately for Justin White, the 88, looks like we're inverting to 10 tonight. So the top 10 will flip. Which is, I mean, that's a huge inversion randomized by iRacing. I was telling the guys I didn't think it went after 4 for a while. But tonight, inversion up to 10. We'll wait till warm-ups are over to talk about the field and the grid for tonight. Let's go ahead and try to see if we can find some people on the track. We have the Joker on that James Grimm ARCA ride to 76. About 2.5 minutes left in warm-up as the guys are out on the raceway getting their last practice in. Used to be known as happy hour. The time after qualification and before the race begins. The Track Time Entertainment is also giving the drivers of the North-South Racing League a discount, as well as picking up the weekly Hard Charger award. Track Time Entertainment is located in Texas. They build custom driving simulators with a personal touch. Rigs are fully customizable with color options and utilize 80/20 US extruded aluminum. These rigs offer a wide range of adjustability as well as different options for wheels, shifters, and keyboards. The possibilities are endless. If you can dream it, Track Time Entertainment can build it for you. I'd like to thank 5 Star Realty Group. They are the ARCA title sponsor, and they are located on the Emerald Coast in beautiful Panama City, Florida. 5 Star Realty Group has years of experience in residential properties, investment opportunities, vacation rentals, and commercial properties, and look forward to helping you with all your real estate needs. That push there from the number 11, pushing that 12 around, that's Randy Nichols pushing Adam Gable, just blew by the 76. Difficult to push here with the ARCA cars. The ARCA cars have that shovel effect. They like to pick the car up in front of them. It can be done, but it is going to be a difficult maneuver if you're not used to the driver in front of you. Could inadvertently spin your buddy out. That's not what we're looking for. We're trying to make him go faster, not to spin around. Randy Nichols, there you go, fastest on the track. So coming up 30 seconds left before we take to the grid. Also another presenting sponsor, J&G Hardwood Flooring. They're a small family-owned business which is started in 2005, located in Christiana, Tennessee. They serve all of Middle Tennessee. Owners are Josh and Brandon Klasinski. They have a 35-year combined of experience to serve all of your flooring needs, from new construction, remodels, or even small repairs. For estimates and scheduling, call 615-904-2218 as we're getting ready to hit the grid here. Kelly the Custom Engraving providing tonight's trophy, the plaque for the Shake and Bake 300. They're locally owned and operated business in Beulahville, North Carolina, specializing in custom engraving of wood, leather, glass, acrylic, and many more materials. Be sure to follow in their Facebook page to view all of their amazing products and place your order. Getting ready to go here. Check out our grid. Here's your grid. Grosser on the pole. Mike Van outside. Hoffler, then Eastman. Randy Nichols. Joe Witowski, Matt Dula, and Jason Gordon. Row 5, Jared April, Justin White, Luke Smith, and Dylan Kalin. Inside of row 7 is Thomas Stewart. Outside him is Josh Nell. Matt Noyce and Ryan Johnson will be in the 16th position in row 8. Row 9 and 17 is Adam Gable and James Grimm. Row 10, Robbie Clavey and Shane Loveridge. Jeff Mathis and JD Richer in row 11. Row 12 is Chuck Sweeting and Jordan Madron. Row 13 is Marshall Johnson and Devin Rogers. And Drew Halloran rolling up the field 27th in row 14 for the Shake and Bake 300. And Grosser's going to the back. I believe he had an EOL in the 38. So he'll be serving an EOL. I believe the 13 will be on the inside with, say, 20. And the 20 will be leading us to the green. So the 20 and the 13 will be leading us to the green flag here. All right, getting ready to roll here for the Talladega for the Shake and Bake 300. 113 laps. 14X is still in play here. No fast repairs. Each driver has 3 sets of tires waiting for them in the pits. So green flag pit stops will come if we go caution free. Pace car off. We're getting ready to roll here. It's on Travis Hoffler and Mike Van. That Exalta ride in that 13. Showing the number 99, and it's Will Eastman that's up there with Travis. So Travis Hoffler and Will Eastman will be the first guys to take off for us in the 1-2 punch here. We're getting up to speed here on lap number 1 at Talladega Super Speedway. As you see the number 11 pushing that 20. He was pushing earlier. Got to be the fastest car on the track. At 11 pushing the 20, followed by the 17 of Matt Dula with tonight's sponsor, Ricker Trucking Company, right there on that hood. Heart crate to the outside. That's the number 11. It looks like he's got Dula with them as they'll both roll right on by the number 20 machine with the 51 of April following right behind them. Will the 11 stay high with these guys or go down low? High line is working pretty good right now. The 20 needs some help. The 29's trying to get there with the 39 as well. That 20 of Travis Hoffler gets down on the bank, off the banking, onto the apron. Just getting out of the way. As Randy Nichols, your race leader. Well, 26 cars took the green flag. Matt Dula off to take over the lead here with Apel behind him, and as they leave the 11 and the Heart Crate up on the high side by himself. That bottom line on the move, the train on the bottom line rolling hard now, all the way back to the 4th spot as Randy Nichols is going to move down there and take over the 5th position as he was freight trained on the low side. Matt Dula leading the way here with Apel right there behind him. So the North driver leading the way, but here comes the outside line. That's the 24 ride of Joe Witoski. Another North driver, and he's on that outside line. He's starting to get them both working there side by side. Fastest car was James Grimm. And it looks like somebody's up on the high side looking for a 3rd lane up there, but he's all by himself. The car sliding around in the corner there. As Dula continues to lead. With the 51 of April right behind him, the Pat Blue Ribbon 29 of Jason Gordon. That's the bottom 3. There's some people skirting that line down low. Devin Rogers helping to push the 24 of Joe Witoski as he's in the 2nd spot looking for to gain the lead. As we're working lap 5 of the 113. Talladega known for the big one. You wonder where that's going to come in. Jordan Madron having some issues with connectivity tonight. There are storms out and about in parts of the country, so that could be a problem for some. Josh Nelms and Drew Halloran both already a lap down. It looks like the top line has 4 deep. And then the bottom line freight train is moving, keeping Dula in the top spot. Reporting in has been Kathy Joe and April have checked in on Facebook with the One to Go Studios. If you're watching us on any of the social media platforms or the North South Racing League Facebook Live, throw us a text chat. Let us know you're watching and who you're rooting for. Haven't seen the older Dula check in just yet. He usually does by now. He may be going out and get himself a beer. This is going to be a nice long run. Apel straddling the apron line there underneath the 17. There's the 29 going down there as well. Everybody shakes out. These cars can get really upset when they touch that yellow line, especially on the tri-oval. So we'll be watching out for that as we continue to run. It looks like Nelms and Halloran are back on the racetrack, but one's down one lap, the other down two. 24 cars on the lead lap as we're continuing to tick down here. Lap 7 of 113 as you're watching the drivers come rolling around the racetrack here. I'm going to give you a wide angle shot to see the number of cars that are out there. It's going to be kind of hard for me to keep up with the changes in positions, so we'll let the ticker do the job for me as we see the 17 and the 51 continuing to lead the bottom line, and the 24 and Devin Ryder in the 25 leading the mid side as the 47 of Drew Halloran gets all the way up against the wall and lets the drivers on by. As we go too wide by the lapped car of Drew Halloran. 8 laps of 113 being worked here as we're on the backstretch. This track's 2.66 miles in length. Look at that 51 pushing that 17. This is the largest track in the NASCAR circuit as far as ovals go. I can't forget our road courses that are a little bit longer, as they were at COTA this year. Working lap number 9 coming off turn 4. So April looked to go high and decided against it as the 24 is there. So Dula continuing to lead the way. And battling for second is Witoski and April. As the 24 gets a run coming into turn number 1 now. And Lowline just has the numbers to keep that momentum going. And we're working lap number 10. 76 of James Grimm now joining the mid side when they've just lapped JD Rich. So now only 23 cars on the lead lap. And there's a group of drivers, it looks like, starting back with Justin Grosser, 18th on back, that have taken the strategy of being about 12 seconds behind the race leader. Maybe to prevent them from getting wrapped up in the big one. We continue to watch these guys racing up front here. As we work lap number 11, it's about 10% down. And the North continues to lead the way here with the top 4 cars. Then Jason Gordon, that 29 Pabst Blue Ribbon, is your first South car. Two lines have established here, with the low line being dominant right now. We're lap number 12. Trying to remember the last time I was in an ARCA car, how many laps we could get in fuel. Maybe it was around 26. So we'll start seeing when these guys have to come down for green flag pit stops. As they come across the stripe here. Dula continuing to be the leader here. Look at the biggest movers so far. Devin Rogers in the 25, who's on the high side, moves up 21 positions. Chuck Sweeting up 16. James Grimm up 8. That will definitely change a whole lot throughout the course of the event. We're covering tonight's action here for the Ricker Trucking Company and the Shake and Bake 300, a South Showdown event. $25 bonus for a North driver securing the victory tonight. Kelly's Custom Engraving putting out a plaque as well for tonight's winner. April stepping out there, maybe getting that car to cool off a little. If you're behind somebody for too long, it can cause a problem with overheating. They are running fixed setups. I'm not sure if that would be the case, but he was ducking out quite a bit there. They continue to ride 2 by as you see that Ricker Trucking Company of Matt Dula, that white and purple, leading the way on the bottom. He's been leading the majority of this race, about the second lap of tonight's event. April's been the pusher for most of this as well. He was pushing the number 11, Randy Nichols, and they got around him. And so far, Dula hasn't looked back. He's in the catbird seat. And Travis Hoffler's almost going to be lapped. He's probably, that card is just outside of the camera view in front of Dula. As you see that, there's our checkered flat, our stripe there. Pretty much right just past pit exit on the front stretch. And there you can see Travis Hoffler's 20 ride out there in front of the race leader. As now the 24 is getting ever so closer on the straightaways, but it's just not enough power, not enough pushing power to keep that high line working around the corners. As it looks like April slid high to go around Dula, and now he's back down below in that bottom line as we're getting ready to pass the number 20 of Travis Hoffler. You see Travis inside of turn 1. He'll maintain the high groove as these guys will go below him 2 wide, and the 20 is going to stay up there in that third line, and he smacks the wall there. Misjudged the wall and scraping it. 17 of 113. At 24 is getting the edge, currently being shown as the race leader. Dula is going to take over the next timing stripe. I don't think he actually led the lap as far as official timing and scoring goes, but he did cross one of the loops in the front position. As you see him right there, getting right alongside and side drafting with the 17. Looks like they're going to go 3 wide off of turn number 2, I believe that is. Turn 4, actually. And they're 3 wide coming up on lap traffic down the front stretch. And that's JD Rich. He's down now 2 laps. Oh, underpowered of JD Rich. Four incident points for a few drivers. Nobody over 4 yet. Gula still being pushed by Apel, with Joe Witoski and Rogers on the outside trying to find their way around the bottom guys. And number 24 was there. He was trying to side draft off the 17. Just was not enough momentum to get around as we're finishing lap 19 of the 113 laps that are scheduled for tonight's event. You see him coming down to the stripe as he has the end of pit lane, and there's the stripe. So a very unique position for the stripe for the flagman, and almost in turn one. So the 24 may have an ability to slide down this time. Just wasn't able to clear. And look for that 24. If he gets enough momentum to slide from the 17, I look for him to do so as we're finishing lap number 20 going down the front stretch. Dula going to lead that lap. 20 laps down. 93 to go. Ooh, Apel down there low. That car got a little upset from that. He's able to gather it up and continue on. Caution free thus far for Talladega for the Shake and Bake 300. Yes, a tribute to the Talladega Nights movie with Ricky Bobby. Will Ferrell's NASCAR parody. That was really close at the line there. Still showing Matt Dula as your race leader, but it's getting closer. At the stripe is where it matters, as Dula's continuing to lead the way here. 22 laps of 113 being worked. These guys are going to have to start talking to each other about pit strategies here momentarily. Tires not really a big issue here at Talladega, but fuel is. As the 24, like I said, he clears the 17, and he's the new race leader as he's in front of Matt Dula. Leaves the high side high and dry, as there's only 3 cars up there, and they're going to start rolling back, I'm sure, because there's only 3 cars on the top line. That time looked like Devin Rogers was able to slingshot by, as I said how the high side wasn't going to make it work, as he does right there, and he gets out in front. So new race leader Devin Rogers, another North driver. So, and now Chuck Sweeting, South driver, to 75 in the 3rd position. So here comes the South with a charge, as James Grimm is there as well in the top 5. Coming up on some lap traffic here of Drew Halloran. And not sure, that might be Nelms with him. And that's Nelms in the 0-1. New race leader is Chuck Sweeting in the 75. So we have a new change that the South has taken over the lead. So South back to the front, leading this event. The 24 trying to change that. Grimm trying to make it out 3 wide, with Sweeting on the bottom, with Towski and Rogers right behind him. The 88 of Justin White has moved his way up. He was the fastest car in qualifying, was pushed in the 10th position by the inversion. Gray box shows that South has command with Chuck Sweeting in the 75. leading the way with 25 laps being worked on here. The 25th of the 113. Uh, 24 of Joe Witowski, James Grimm, and now Josh Nelms has fallen in with that group. And Josh Nelms is 3 laps down. As that high groove, the middle groove is trying to get some momentum together. As the 75 and the 25 are 1 and 2 right now. On the backstretch, that high line starts to move, but doesn't have enough muscle to get around on the corners. It looks like Tiny Horse Johnson has joined the high side there. 5 cars wide now. Or 5 cars deep, I should say, not wide. Lap 26 of 113 down. Now working lap 27. As your race leader, Chuck. That 75 looking pretty good up front there. He was able to make his way to the top and then around the number 25 of Devin Rogers. But I'd say they're going to be starting to come down and do green flag stops here soon. I just don't remember how much fuel was available. The 24 is still trying to mount a charge on the outside line. Not able to get there in time to make it work. Coming up on a quarter of the way through the race. As the South continues to roll with the 75 pacing the field. Lap times are just under 51 seconds. Seeing speeds being clocked in the 190s. 24 looking for some help from the 76. Grimm was sliding around a little bit in that last corner. Nelms now helping out as Grimm's trying the high side to go around by himself and try to get around the 24. And he's going to end up giving up to the 0-1, who's several laps down. They're trying to get there to 75 and the 24. Getting down to the stripe. Looks like Chuck was able to hold off the charge of the 24 on that lap. 29 down. Drew Halloran has disconnected from the server, so we have 25 cars driving, 21 on the lead lap. So incident points, the highest is 4, lowest a bunch of zeros. So So right now we're doing pretty good with the incident count, 14x, and you'll be given a disqualification. The car will disappear from the service. So all of a sudden it'll just vanish into thin air. 31 of 113 being scored this lap. So past 25% done, so 75% to go. Have not pitted yet. Only people down pit lane has been Josh Nelms. Everyone else has stayed on the track. Josh Nelms now moves ahead of JD Rich. Gaining him a spot. Not seeing anything in race chat about pit stops just yet. $32 of the 113 coming off the high banks 3 and 4. Nobody coming down the pit lane just yet. These guys that have been up front have been burning the most fuel, so they're going to be the ones that are going to need to come down first. And I'm, like I said, not hearing anything in chatter right now about anybody needing to pit just yet. April back down low again at 51. He's really close to that yellow line. Sometimes he goes over. The 0-1 Nelms is down several laps, is pushing the 24, trying to get him around the 75. He might be able to do it on the backstretch here. $34 of 113 coming to the stripe yet again. That top line is completely disintegrated into only 2 cars. I anticipate we're starting to see guys get ready to go down the pit lane. I see a lot of drivers on that bottom line, so I expect to see cars coming down this time by as we're working lap 35 of the 113, the 24, and the 0-1 are rolling the top line together. The 75 and the 25 are Rogers and Sweeting definitely working it there. Coming down the pit lane, I don't see any takers just yet. It looks like they've moved down to get in the pit lane, but no one's coming just yet. 35 laps down. You see that 0-1 continuing all by himself to keep the 24 side by side with the 75. The 0-1 trying to get one of his laps back the hard way. It looks like trying to get around the 24. The 24 putting the blocks on him. As they're coming up on the lap traffic, I believe that's JD Rich in the Monster. Coming back to the stripe here to complete lap 36. There's the completion of 36. Still no takers for pit lane. These guys are definitely going to show us their hand early with how long they can stay out. '24 gets out in front of the 75 thanks to Josh Nelms. He's now the race leader, so give it back to the north. We'll see if he can stay ahead coming to the stripe and officially lead the lap. Everybody on the bottom line except for Josh Nelms as he's going back in a hurry. The north takes back over the south track here at Talladega with the 24 of Joe Wataski. Josh Nelms continuing to work that car back up to alongside of the race leader. He's not able to stay close and tight to him through the corners. That's causing him to lose speed for the corners. And looking here at pit lane, still no takers. 38 laps being worked here. And we just completed lap 38. You guys are going to show me that they can get about 40 laps in before they need to come down pit lane. Looks like Devin Rogers sliding up in front of Josh Nelms to work the midline, so he's not worried about pitting right now. And most of the guys on the low line usually set up to get to pit lane. They'll drop down low. But still no chatter in the race communications about anybody coming down pit lane. And everybody still knows the tail on that bottom line as Rogers is trying to make it work to get back to the lead on the high side as he's up to the second position right behind the 24. Josh Nelms being one heck of a pusher so far tonight. Pushing a couple guys up to the front. Working lap 40 when we come off the backstretch here. Down comes the 24. It looks like he's by himself, and that's gonna hurt. 24 of Joe Wataski from the north by himself down pit lane. And that's because he was up in the front for so many laps, and that's going to burn off that fuel, and nobody wanted to come down with him. He's going to have to try to grab a hold of this freight train as it comes by when he comes back on the pit, off of pit lane. Otherwise, he's going to be way off of pace, as that means 40 laps, or 41 laps, was the distance that Rogers was comfortable with. When we're going to start seeing these other guys come down, with Rogers leading the way over Chuck Sweeting. Wataski back off of pit lane. Here comes the back after. Looks like the top three stay out. Everybody else coming down. So some of these guys trying to stretch it to 42 laps before they pit. Ryan Johnson and Luke's and James Grimm now have 8 incident points as we're in lap number 42. A little early for the accumulation of that many points. 14, and you could be disconnected from the service and receive an EOL penalty the following race. Rogers continuing to be the leader. And it looks like all of them are coming down pit lane this time by. As you see the race leaders. And man, the 75 of Chuck Sweeting was able to get down first. As you see some people miss their pit stalls on pit lane. Everybody down pits right now. Some of the drivers back up. Looks like Justin White is the first car to get back out onto the racetrack. In the number 88. And there's that Skola ride right there. See where he finishes out this lap with scoring. We see more people coming off of pit lane. Getting awful busy down here as green flag stops are being completed. Thomas Stewart in the 64 is currently being scored as the race leader. And he is not up to speed yet with Jared Apel and Justin White are at speed. And they're coming quick. Justin White, 88, still your race leader. After green flag pit stops, the Skoll ride leading the way. Everyone, from what I can tell, has taken tires as well as fuel based on times. And Devin Rogers now back up to the lead over Justin White in the Skoll ride. These guys are single file. So 3 North drivers and 2 South drivers in the top 5. 88 coming around the high side with help as we're 3 wide on the backstretch as the 88 drops down in front of Rogers. As the number 24 regains the lead of Joe Witoski. So the North now holding all 5 of the top 5 positions. Working lap 44 of the 113. Looks like that time it went to Justin White at the line. So Justin White leading the way from the south. I was actually incorrect thinking they're all 5. Did not see Justin up there. So 1 South driver, 4 North drivers in the top 5. The Skull Bandit is the 1 South driver. The other 4 all North drivers. So the South back in control for the time being. The 24 in his do-it-yourself ride, trying to regain the lead for the North and get this $25 bonus. 45 laps finished of the 113 as we got 3 wide coming across the stripe here. And who's going to have that this time? Joe Witoski, so the North taking it back over.
We're being attacked!
So enemy territory, $25 in play again with the 24, the do-it-yourself ride. So no cautions thus far tonight. Couple drivers having some issues with incident points. Trapped down a lap are 16 through 20th. One of them being Randy Nichols, which was an early contender, and he's disconnected. So Randy Nichols has put the car away. So that's 3 cars that are now out, or 2 cars that are out, sorry. As the 24 and the 25 continue to work. So 3 North drivers, 1, 2, and 3, with now Shane Loveridge in the 72 trying to be the leader of the South drivers, with the 88 of Justin White as well. Contact, it looked like Jared Apel on the outside with the 64 of Thomas Stewart. So let's try to check that and get back with those guys there. It was on lap 47. Those were choppered above the 51 on your replay. So Abel with a heck of a run jumps to the high line around the 88 and the 72. Comes up really fast on the 64, goes high, and the 64 basically runs across the nose of the 51. So we'll see what race control has to say about that contact. And they basically say the same thing. The 64 given the EOL for contact with the 51 of Jared Apel. The North in control here with the top three drivers. Two top drivers in fourth and fifth, White and Loveridge, as pit lane is starting to heat up. So working lap 49, the scheduled 113. Had our first caution come out. 64 and the 51, those are the only two that were involved, it looked like. Current here is your J&G Hardwood Flooring race recap of the Shake and Bake 300. Your leader is Devin Rogers from the north. Working our one caution to our 2 laps. 26 racers out here. And the fastest lap was James Grimm, 48.933. Got back with our weather. Track temperatures dropped down to 107. The winds are slightly out of the northeast now by 2 miles an hour. That's your Lottie'sTravelWorld.com weather. You can check them out, Lottie'sTravelWorld.com, for all of your travel needs. Hotels, cars, airplanes, cruises, all-inclusives, you name it, they can help you out. Check out Lori at Lottie'sTravelWorld.com today. And also being told that they on there's a sweepstake for a 1-week river cruise in Europe. So check that out at Lottie'sTravelWorld.com tonight. Working lap 49. Lights are out on the pace car, so we will be 50 laps down, 63 to run. They will have to pit once more if we continue to go green, at least. So just shy of halfway. Eight laps short of halfway. 63 laps will be remaining once we go back to green flag racing. One caution tonight. 15 cars on the lead lap with the 51 of Jared Apel on the end of the lead lap. And Stewart is on pit lane. Been there for about 4 minutes now. Heavy damage to that car, looked like. Being scored currently in the 19th position. And we're back off with green flag running here. Rogers, your current leader on that bottom line with Justin White pushing. That mid-high line there starting to develop. Josh Nelms in the 0-1. He's being scored 3 laps down, but he's the third car in the high side line. And Tiny Horse Johnson in the small pack working on the high groove. Number 24 scored as the leader on that lap. He might have enough momentum here on the backstretch to cut down in front of the 25. Josh Nelms and Chuck Sweeting pushing him down the back straightaway. Tiny Horse Johnson dropping to the 5th spot on the bottom line. Side by side, the 24 and 25. 2 North drivers, followed by the 75 and 88, 2 South drivers. And then Jeff Mathis in the 8 is another South driver, so the advantage in numbers right now to the South in the top 5, though our leaders are of both lines is our North drivers. That 24 has a heck of a run off the top side with a 75 continuing to push him along. Is he going to stay with them up top, or is he going to slide down in front of the 25 of Devin Rogers? Five cars on the high groove. Huge train on the bottom side. But that top groove's getting it done. The 24 and the 75. And then Josh Nelms in the 01. .56 lap being worked here, so about 3 more laps before we are halfway with the race here. This is our South Showdown. Kelly Custom Engraving is going to provide us with a plaque to the race winner tonight. Presenting sponsor is Ricker Trucking Company LLC, as the 88 is pushing that 25 up to the front line. That top line is falling back, the bottom line back up. Matt Dula is currently being scored in the 6th position. And looks like the 88's looking to go underneath the 25. The 25 in the middle line with no help, as we're 3 wide, second on back. As we're coming up on lap traffic, it looks like we're even looking at 4 wide with Chuck Sweeting there. And we're like 3 wide, 2 back. With that's Apel in the 51. He's just gonna have to try to find a way to get out of the way from these guys, as they're 3 wide down the backstretch. A 4 wide pass. And we stay green, no contact. Good racing here by these guys to stay off of each other. So Devin Rogers regains the lead. The 01 trying to get his lap back the hard way, as the 01 is being scored 3 laps down. If he can get up in front there, he could be scored 2 laps down and then work on a couple free rides around, free waves around, and he might be back in this thing, because he looks like he's got a car that can contend. There's a lot of speed in the 01. Dylan Kalin in the 18 ride has put his car up onto the trailer. That'll be our 3rd driver who has retired from tonight's event, as Devin Rogers is your race leader at the cross flag. So we're halfway, 150 miles done of the 300. So 21 cars on the racetrack, 14 cars on the lead lap. And it was around 42 laps that we had the last set of green flag pit stops. We're about halfway there now. And then things get interesting. It's going to be right around 82. They're going to have to basically make sure they got enough fuel to finish the race. Because even at 82, that would be 41 laps. So it still would be almost a full tank needed. 61 of the 113 laps down. The 0-1. A little squirrely there. You know, he's trying to get one of his laps back here. So 2 by 2 by 2 by 2 all the way back to the 20th position of Jared Apel. And that 0-1 continuing to show that he's got a dominant car, but just got trapped down laps. He's being scored in the 19th position, 2 laps down. Rogers and Watoski, White and Sweeting, Mathis, Dula, Gordon, Smith, Loveridge, and Justin Grosser, your top 10. Looks like Grosser and his group is just staying to the rear of this big pack. Just enough to stay in the draft of it. Far enough to basically have time for evasive maneuvers. That's what it looks like. So that was Grosser, Gable, Eastman, and Grimm with them. $64 of 113 down. 49 left. These guys are doing it the right way. No real contact between the pusher and the pushee. Just sitting there in the basically right there at the downforce to create one large car instead of 2 separate cars, which basically allows the cars to go faster. And if you end up actually bump drafting, in my opinion, it slows these cars down. But if you can stay right there on the back deck of your buddy in front of you, you'll both end up speeding up. Oh, 14 cars still being scored on the lead lap. Front about 10 are running 2 by 2 all the way back to 10th. So Nelms currently leading this pack and has gotten his lap back, or one of his laps back. So it puts him in the 2 lap down category. He's not going to be able to stretch further than this. He's just going to need to get a caution or 2 here to help him out. Now the 24 of Joe Toski basically takes over the top spot as the top side starts to gain momentum. So that'll be a good time to go through the field here. As Joe Witowski is leading this thing. Chuck Sweeting, the 75, is second. Devin Rogers in the third position with Justin White in that Skoal. He's in the fourth spot. Jeff Mathis, he's on fire in the number 8 in the fifth position. Matt Dula with the event sponsor, Ricker Trucking, 17, currently in sixth. Jason Gordon in the Pats Blue Ribbon number 29 is in seventh. Luke Smith in the Good Wrench Plus, the white scheme there in the 39 is in eighth. Shane Loveridge in the 72 is scored in ninth. Justin Grosser in the Speedco Loves is in the 10th spot. Adam Gable in the Ford Performance Motorcraft's 11th. Will Eastman in his Exalted 99 is in 12th. 13th is James Grimm. And he's basically hurt. He's only running 180 miles an hour right now. Marshall Johnson behind him in 14th. In third, or in the 15th spot, a lap on the tail end of the lead lap right now is Ryan Johnson, as he's right in front of the race leader, and he's in 15th. Travis Hoffler's in 16th in the 20. He's also with the leaders. 13th of Michael Van is in 17th. 18th is Jared Apel, scored 3 laps down, and Josh Nelms in 19th scored 3 laps down. JD Richfield scored 5 laps down in 21st, 23rd, and 24th, both on pit lane. So back to the front here. That's race leader Chuck Sweeting now, the south under control with that number 3 on the tail end, trying to stay there to get back to the lead lap if anything should happen. The 75 is taking the $25 off the table for the time being, with 43 laps remaining in tonight's event. Some of these guys have been out there for 29, 30 laps. In about 12 more laps, we should start seeing pit stops. And Jared Apel jumps out of line down the back stretch under the apron. Some people are coming down pit lane right now. As James Grimm, who's on pit lane. Tiny Horse continuing to stay on the lead lap with keeping the lead cars behind him right now. This Tiny Horse has 23 laps on his car right now. Jeff Mathis, Joe Witowski, Rogers, White, and Gordon all have 31 laps, so they're going to have to come down earlier than some of these other drivers. That may be fuel strategy may start rearing his ugly head here. "40 laps to go." We continue to be right here with the group in the lead. It's like the mid-high line there is getting organized with Nelms, White, and Mataski. Continuing to tick off the laps here. Leaders showing 34 laps on their tires and fuel. Be about 8 more laps till they got to come down for green flag stops. Johnson is on the end of the lead lap. That's your rate leader is a 75, followed by the 8 of Jeff Mathis. And Rogers and Wataski, the New North drivers, White and Dula, your top 6. About 37 laps remaining tonight. So there's some of these guys wanting to split the difference. Maybe doing so in the next lap or two. I think these guys are going to go till it's almost dry and then come down. Three in that 75 with the 8 and the 25 of Devin Rogers. That's the 4 running that bottom freight train, being led by the 3 who's on the tail end of the lead lap right now, being scored. These guys know the pit stop. Oh, turned. This 3 was turned up by the 75. There was contact made, and that's all it takes to get these tires sideways, but we remain green. Oh no, Justin Grosser over end. Watch the 38 here. We're watching the replay. And I saw during the current coverage, it was caught in the 38 went end over end. The 38 trying to find a way around a 13. He comes down into the 13 and end over end is a 38, and you see that tire wanting to come off of that car as he's still flipping down the infield. On board here with Justin Grosser. And we're on board for one heck of a ride with Justin Grosser as we're still flipping. And I'm surprised the engine is still fired. He's gonna need a tow back. On pit lane is just about everybody. So the strategy definitely gone. As everybody will have fuel to the end now. As Chuck Sweeting leading us with that 17 of Matt Dula in the second spot. It looks like Matt did not, maybe took 2 tires and that was it with fuel. Tires not a real big issue here at Talladega. I think it was a pretty good call by Matt Dula to move up some positions. Let's see if he can stay there. But Justin Grosser for a wild ride at Talladega, which it's been known for. You know, Carl Edwards and Elliott Sadler know definitely what this track can do as far as throwing people up in the air. And Ryan Johnson now in danger of the disqualification. And he's on pit lane right now trying to get some of that repaired, I'm sure, because he took a pretty good lick. You can see the damage on that car. He took a heck of a pounding into the outside retaining wall earlier on, just before that caution came out. All right, they're disqualifying the number 13 of Michael Vann. That was the car that made contact with Justin Grosser and sent him flying. That's what range control has determined. And that the 13 car is on pit lane right now. The race saver. And he is just disconnected now. So 80 laps will be completed and we go back to green flag racing. 33 will remain. They have the ability to go the distance with the fuel in the cars. I wonder if anybody took short fuel. JD Rich, the only car that did not pit that cycle, but he's 4 laps down. Josh Nelms now 3 laps down. Johnson now 2 laps down. And he's back on the racetrack. Justin Grosser on pit lane in the 17th position. Been there about 5.5 minutes. I don't see him coming back out anytime soon. That car has to have taken a beating. I was surprised the engine was still running based on the amount of times he flipped that car. Looks like the pace car is vacating the track. Chuck Sweeting will lead us to the green flag. And going through the gears 75 and the 17 side by side. 3 North drivers, 2 South drivers in the top 5. The 75 has the lead currently. The 17 on the high side with the 25 pushing him. So 75 with the 24 pushing has a slight advantage. Working lap 81. The 17 slides down in front of the 75. That's Matt Dula crossing the stripe.
We're being attacked.
Enemy at the gate. The 25 hours back in play for the North. As they're the front 2, followed by the 75 and the 88, the 2 South drivers. I would agree that Justin Grosser is done with 8 minutes now sitting on pit lane. '17 going up the high side, the block comes back down the block. The 75's there, they're 3 wide coming to the stripe. It looks like the 75 is going to have it that time, so bring it back to the south. As Dula trying to block, missed all the blocks. Oh no, big collision up front with Dula. And we're still green. I don't know how we're still green, but we're still green. So Shane Loveridge and Justin White now both with 12 X's. So anything that happens to them, a bigger issue. The 24 looks like he's going to challenge for the top spot. And he has it, so he's going to take over again for but it looks like the 75 is able to get back around him, so the South has it again. Right now, the South has advantage in numbers. 75, the 8, and the 29, with Shane Lovers in the 72. Nelms trying to push the 24 back to the lead on the high side. As there are this group of 6 with Nelms and Grimm is the front pack, and then you got to go back 8 seconds to Johnson, Gable, Eastman. And then Devin Rogers all the way back 26 seconds and continuing to slow in the 25. So Chuck Sweeting continuing to march and kick off these laps little by little. And 28 laps remaining. So 9 cars on the lead lap. The last big one did not bring out a caution flag, but did involve Matt Dula and a few other drivers. And Matt Dula is on pit lane. He's going to be there for a while as well. So Rogers, Hoffler, and Grimm down a lap. Everyone else, the top 9 on the lead lap. Josh Nell's being scored right now, 3 laps down. We'll move up a few positions, I'm sure, of these drivers that are on pit lane right now. Gross has been on pit lane for 11 minutes. I'm pretty sure he's looking at maybe an engine change. "26 laps to go." Okay. Race control wanting us to talk the rule number 1.9.1. Lap car must hold a line, and the 13 was ruled not to be holding a line, which he got into Justin Grosser, and that is why he was disqualified. A good call there by Mike Xavier, the race controller for the North-South Racing League. 88 laps down of the 113 scheduled. 25 to go. And the North back in control with a 24 at 0-1 is one heck of a pusher. And the back to control to the North as the 8 and the 75 charged on the low side. We'll keep swapping back and forth between these guys. It's JD Rich, possibly. No. I'm not sure who that is. We'll see when I get to him. Oh, that's Devin Rogers, who's already a lap down. He'll be now 2 laps down. He was in that contact with Dula. The 75 and the 8 continue to work the low line with the 0-1 and the 24 working the high side with Grimm with them. 3 cars on the top groove, 5 cars on the bottom groove. The 75 looks like he's got the momentum this time, carry it down the trial to the start finish line. It's going to be a drag race. And give it to Chuck Sweeting on that lap. So back to the south with a 0-1 doing everything he can to keep the 24 up in the front position. 23 to go here. And Matt Dula has able to get this car back out on the racetrack, being scored 6 laps down. He's traveling right now at 168 and climbing. So he might have got enough damage repaired on that car to get back out on the racetrack. That's the number 3, a Tiny Horse. He's currently 2 laps down. They'll be 3 after they get around, and this time heavy damage, aero damage to that car, that right front. And they just roll right on by him as Nelms continues to push the 24 around the racetrack. '24 regains this top spot as the high line is actually working really well now, as they're closest to one another. The top side is kind of spread out a little bit on the bottom with only 5 cars on the bottom line. Justin White still on pit lane in the 88, one of the top contenders. Matt Dula's back on the racetrack. Drivers with 12. Justin White, Shane Lovers, 12 incident points and 10 incident points to Brian Johnson. So all those drivers need to keep it clean, otherwise they'll be disqualified. "20 laps to go here as you're watching the tight racing up front. The 1-2 cars, the 24 and the 75, battling out for the top spot. The 24 has the edge this time by. Might have been Justin White that we just went by, currently 90 miles an hour. Well, Matt Dula coming out of the pits 6 laps down. He's currently being scored in the 16th spot. .94 down, 19 to go. Things are heating up in the front here. Nose to tail, 2 buys. This is going to shape up to a heck of a finish here tonight. Guys are about a second slower than their fastest times, as the guys are catching up to Matt Dula. Matt gonna stay up in the 3rd groove and let the guys slide on by him. Josh Nellums continues to work as the pusher here, doing a heck of a job keeping the high line moving. See Josh Nellums looking like he was trying to slide down in front of the 75, thought against it. Working lap 97. Okay, Devin Rogers up high. Down another lap. Puts him 3 laps down. So 9 cars scored on the lead lap. James Grimm and Hoffler, the 76 and the 20, are a lap down. Josh Nellums is 3 laps down. .16 laps to go as we pass the stripe here. To 75 and the 24. Every other lap, it seems these guys are trying to get themselves in a position to where they can win this race, leading their respective lines, 1 low, 1 high. The high line seems to have a slight advantage even though they only have 3 cars up there. "15 laps to go." Justin Grosser returning back to the racetrack. Do not know how that car has made it back to the raceway, but he has. So there's a 24 and the 75, the battle for the top spot, and if the bonus gets paid for. So if you're looking for somebody to get the bonus money, you're looking for the 24. If you're looking for the South to regain the momentum here between the two series, then you want that 75 and that 8 to get up there in front. Across here will be 13 left to go. As they cross the line, here will be 13 laps to go. Some lap traffic up around the start-finish line. One continues to push that 24. They both now sliding down in front of Chuck Sweeting, and leave Grimm out there. Now they end up going up around there. The 3 out of the way. The 03, or the 3 of Ryan Tiny Horse Johnson. 03 is Dante Curtis, who's not here today. Two South drivers now regaining control as the 24 got down low and was not able to get any help, allowing the South now to jump ahead with 3 drivers, 1 through 3 for the first time tonight. The South has command of the racetrack here at Talladega. The 29 sliding up that middle groove. He's going to keep coming up. He hits the 24. 24 up into the wall, but gets back down. But contact between the 29 and the 24, that's going to put Joe Wataski out of tonight's race. With only 11 laps to go, with Luke Smith being the North's only hope, is what it looks like, in the number 39 ride. Right there in second on the bottom line behind the 75. So 11 laps to go. South has the numbers for tonight. Ten laps to go. Side by side, the 2 South drivers with the 1 North driver and the 39 right behind them. Coming up on a lap car. And that's Grosser, who's down at the apron. $75 and the 8. 39 underneath them. 9 laps to go. Running about 51 seconds a lap right now. The 8 gets around the 75 on that last lap. So we have a new leader of Jeff Mathis and Jason Gordon on the high side. Oh, the 8 turns around. Big crash, everybody stacked up and crashing all over the place. It looked like the 8 and the 75 had contact. So we'll have to go back and look at this one. The 8 hitting the apron turns everybody around. And it looked like the 88 of Justin White was 14x'd out. And Luke Smith and Jason Gordon got away clean. With 75 of Chuck Sweeting given the EOL for the contact made with the 8 of Jeff Mathis. But your current race leader is Jason Gordon. And behind him, Luke Smith. And then Joe Witoski. We'll see how this shakes out as we're under the caution flag. Travis Hoffler may be the recipient of the free pass here, as he's showing as the first car on the one lap down for Lucky Dog. Coming down pit lane is the 29 and the 39. Look, the 39 got some damage in there. 39 of Luke Smith. And he did get some damage. Not sure how much damage that's going to cause him. But rough night for everybody thus far. Here's Joe's ride. And he's been able to get some of that repaired, so he might be in some good shape here as we get back to green flag. He's doing pretty darn good leading the way here. At 24. He's getting his repairs done. Anything that needs to be repaired on that ride. And number 12, Adam Gable, be the highest North driver right now with Jason Gordon going around in there. So right now we'll have under 5 to go. So currently being shown as the race leader is Jason Gordon, followed by Adam Gable and Will Eastman, Marshall Johnson, Luke Smith, then Jeff Mathis and Joe Witoski. Chuck Sweeting will go to the back with Travis Hoffler. So 9 cars on the lead lap as we're getting ready to go back to green flag racing to finish this up with 5 laps to go. Shane Loveridge received a 14x disconnecting, as well as Justin White. The end of that last caution. The number 8S of Jeff Mathis back on pit lane. That's probably going to put him a lap down, so only 8 cars will be on the lead lap when we go back to green flag racing. Waiver rounds being given for those that did stay out. 29 and the 12 will bring us to the green flag, with the 29 leading the way. And then Eastman and Marshall Johnson and Luke Smith. Tiny Horse is back there, but he's he's 4 laps down. So, finishing up here at the Rickard Trucking Company Shake and Bake 300, the pace car down pit lane. And we'll have 5 laps to go when we get back down to green racing. Jason Gordon will lead the way. He hits on that loud pedal, but looks like he got too much of a jump. That's going to hurt him when they start catching back up with him. Both the North drivers, 5 laps to go, as Eastman and Gable are just going to roll right. Oh, whoa, contact, but they stayed clear. But Will Eastman and Adam Gable up and around the 29 of Jason Gordon, as Gordon got off to too good of a start, and the guys had momentum to clear around him. So the front is the 2 North drivers of Eastman and Gable, followed by Johnson and Gordon, and then Luke Smith is making his way back up in the top 5. The 8 charging up to the front, though.
We're being attacked!
Enemy at the gate. 25 hours in play, but the 8 is in that middle groove. And he's got repairs back done on that car, is where the Exalta of the 99 of Will Eastman and that 12 need to get gathered up to keep that line moving. As we're now looking almost 3 wide on the backstretch, 4 laps to go. And the 8 is all by himself in that middle line. No one to help him as he's side drafting. Number 99 leading the way here. The 75 gets behind the 8. That middle line starting to move and get some help. Dula with them. As they're now 2x2. Eastman on the inside. Jeff Mathis on the outside. Eastman was able to get to the stripe on the first, as they're swapping back on the straightaways. Right now, Mathis gets down in front of the 99, had the help of the 75, leaves the 75 high and dry on the mid side. So new leader is the 8 south of Jeff Mathis. He's in front of that 99 ride. There's worth 3 laps to go. 2 to go, sticks out. And now the race is under control of Jeff Mathis and the South driver, with the 2 North drivers on the low line underneath him. As the 75's all by himself in the middle, Eastman jumps up to the midline. On the backstretch it looks like the 99 has a run. He's going to slide down in front of the number 8. Thinks twice about it. Maybe he might now. He's going to stay just to the high line through the corner. Now we're 3 wide coming down to the tri-oval. White flag's in the flagman's hands. White flag. 1 to go from 1 to go Studios. Currently, that was given to your race leader now, Will Eastman, leading the way for the North in the number 99. He slides down in front of the 75. At 12 of Adam Gable trying to get some momentum as the 99 slides high to do the block, with Travis Hoffler getting their contact between the 75, the 20. There's going to be a drag race to the end. The 20 of Travis Hoffler crashing everybody all over the place. The 12 of Adam Gable is leading. We have people flipping on the backstretch. The number 12 of Adam Gable leading the way with the 8 South. It looks like it's going to be Adam's race here. The number 12 first across the line, with Jason Gordon and Jeff Mathis with him, as the entire field was flipping down the back straightaway on the final lap. So we will definitely have to get with these drivers and see how their race went at the end there. There's 2 of our race leaders. All right. And congratulations being by all their drivers there. So we'll start moving people around, trying to get to this. All right, so we'll pull in Jason Gordon. Jason Gordon in the booth of Harold Darner, man, 3rd place. What a heck of a lap there in your rearview mirror. I'm sure you saw those cars flipping around.
Man, that was something else. I hope it was as much fun to watch as it is to be in here doing this. I'm still shaking.
It was definitely a end of a race to be talked about. But man, the South guys, you guys came up just short tonight, but you guys were looked like you guys were going to go 1, 2, 3 tonight. But that last lap was not in the favor of getting that done.
That didn't work out. There was a group of us that was trying to work together, and there was always somebody on our outside just giving us heck, and it was a lot of fun.
All right, Jason, before we let you go, man, who are you going to thank for your podium finish tonight at Talladega for the Shake and Bake 300?
First of all, my wife is probably going to see this at some point, so I got to thank her and my family. You guys in the booth do a great job. This whole admin team here for the NSRL is just something else. Got to thank my real life sponsors, L&M Roofing and Construction and Peace Custom Homes. They'll see this at some point. Thank them for making my racing career what it does. This was good. I've never been super competitive here, so it's glad to be able to talk to you finally.
All right, Jason Gordon, man, Milwaukee Mile next week, man. We'll hope to see you again.
10-4. Hope to be there.
All right. So third place winner, Jason Gordon, the Pat Blue Ribbon 29 ride. Third place tonight. Then we move over to Jeff Mathis, the other South driver. And Jeff Mathis, you're in the booth with Harold, man, the 8 in the 5-Star Realty Group flaming car. So you were flaming hot for most of the time, and you were able to make some repairs because I know the last caution flag, you were part of that.
Chuck, he got a little bit low and accidentally got into me and spun me out. I had a lot of damage, but I was able to get it fixed. I come around 3 and 4 that last time. I'm telling you what, I had some steam, boy. I was rolling.
The car definitely did seem like you had enough speed on it because there were some closing times between you and some other cars tonight that was really fast. So we talked about some of the guys on your car. So who else you want to thank for tonight's second place finish here at the Shake and Bake 300?
Oh man, I'd like to thank everybody, man. All the admins. I'm an admin as well, but all the admins, we all work our behinds off in order to make these races happen. There's a lot that goes on behind the scenes, and I like to thank them. I like to thank you up there for broadcast, and Michael over there in race control. He really does a bang up job as well. It's hard up there, and sometimes he gets the bad end of the discussion, but he's doing his darndest to make it all happen. I'm just happy. This is my best finish so far. I've been really struggling this year, it's really coming through now here.
All right. So Jeff Mathis, man, we're up to the Milwaukee Mile with the ARCA cars next week, man. Hopefully we'll start something here and continue the second half of the season for you.
Yeah, I'm hoping this will keep going, buddy.
All right. We'll see you next week.
All right. Thank you, man.
All right. And then we're going to check in with the race winner, Adam Gable. Adam Gable, man, you're in the booth with Harold, man. Ford Performance Motorcraft 12 car brings it home, man. Carnage and mayhem behind you.
Man, that was a fun race. I hope everybody enjoyed that. Yeah, I was happy to see that wreck was happening behind me. Man, white flag, anything can happen.
Yep, final lap, and you just have to get there first, right? Exactly. And that's what you were able to do. Bring home the flag for the North here and stop the South from taking back the track today. You get yourself $25. The plaque from Kelly's Custom Engraving for the Shake and Bake 300 that was presented by Richter Trucking, I believe it was. I got to double check that. I'm going to say it wrong, I'm sure. So that was Richter Trucking Company, LLC, was the presenting sponsor for the title for the race tonight. So it was good for them, and they get us that plaque for you.
Hey, I'll definitely take that and the cash.
And the cash. Cash is always good. The plaque is nice to have because plaque kind of hangs around a little bit more than the money does.
That's very true nowadays.
So, man, who do you want to thank before we let you go, man, getting you back to victory lane?
Just want to thank everybody at the North-South Racing League, all the admins, you as well for putting this broadcast on. Especially got to thank my teammates. Man, we had a strategy at the beginning of the race that, hey, let's fall to the back. We'll just hang out back there. Then we lost the draft and got a caution, got back up there. And it was just basically just great teamwork from my teammates. I wouldn't be here sitting in victory lane if I didn't have them.
All right. So, Adam, good job, man. Milwaukee Mile next week. Hopefully we'll talk to you again then.
Yep, I'll see you next week.
All right. See you next week. So we're going to check out the hard charger for tonight. Hard charger for tonight was Marshall Johnson, up 21 positions. Started tonight 25th, ended up in the 4th position in the number 33 car. So that was your hard charger for tonight. And your race summary by the J&J Hardwood Flooring. The race recap. Your winner was Adam Gable. 3 cautions for 9 laps. And the fastest lap was put down by James Grimm in the 76. Final results. Gable, Mathis, Gordon, your top 3. Johnson, Hoffler, Sweeting, Matoski, Eastman, all on the lead lap through 8th. Luke Smith down a lap. Josh Nelms, who was pushing everybody tonight, 3 laps down in 10th. And 11th was Ryan Johnson. JD Rich was down 5 laps. Matt Dula down 6. Grimm's 8 laps down. 9 down was Shane Loveridge. 10 laps down was Devin Rogers. 20 laps back was Justin White. Grosser 21 laps back. Jared Apel 46 laps back. Matt Noyce was 20th and 49 laps down. Kalen Stewart Nichols, Clavy Halloran, Michael Van, and Jordan Madron. I don't think Jordan actually took any laps tonight. So that was 27 car field here for the Ricker Trucking Company LLC Shake and Bake 300 tonight. Now I'm going to go back and we're going to try to see if we can check out that last lap here. This was with 2 laps to go on the replay. You see the Travis Hoffler in the 20 to shoot the gap there, and he has taken a lot of drivers with him. And this just keeps flipping and carnage. And you see the 17 up in the air and around, and the 3, and woo! But that 20 had one heck of a run. You're gonna watch this again with a 20. He comes up behind Dula, gets around him, and he's just gonna take that advantage and just stuck right up down the middle. He's trying to make it there. The 99 and the 75 comes up. He makes contact there. Contact with the 8. Comes down, and then he brings it back up the track. And you see all the carnage and mayhem. What a ride to finish the race here. So that was the end of tonight's race. I want to thank all of our sponsors, the North-South Racing League. Heading to the Milwaukee Mile for the ARCA Series next week. Hope to see you then. Until then, I'm Harold Arner for Wendigo Studios. We'll see you at the next turn.
What an exciting race brought to you by Wendigo Studios. Here they come out of turn 4 to the white flag, and it's 1 to go. Thank you to all our sponsors.